So how to create custom columns? Good question. Best way would be to go into the interface and show you how to do that. So all you do is you go to campaigns and then you go to columns. You can either modify or create a new one. So I've got a custom column set which I can edit or I can modify. So I'll go over here, edit this one. And then you will see lots of these metrics. And along the bottom, you are going to see custom column. I'm going to zoom in a bit more so you guys can see this a bit better. Okay, I think that's better. Where were we? There you are. Custom columns. Click on it and then click the plus button. And you go to this pop-up window which says here, create a custom column. Let's say I want to create a custom column for cost per conversion. So I can call it CPA. You can put in the description cost per acquisition. And then you have the number form, the data format, whether it's a number, percent, a currency. So for this, it is currency. And then I'm going to go into the columns. And so the formula for cost per conversion or cost per acquisition is cost divided by conversions. So cost is under performance. Now that's the only thing you will need to go through if you are not very familiar as to which metrics are hidden under which section. Then you'll have to go through each. Cost is over here. Cost, and then you click on divide that by. Try to enlarge it a bit more. Okay, cost divided by, then I'll go back again, conversions. Now you have got a cost per conversion anyway, so you may think, why am I showing this to you? But you can create any kind of custom column from here. So now when you go back to your column set, okay, so just give me one moment. Just need to go log back into that account. I think it's this one. Let's try again. Okay, so we were under modify columns and so in some accounts you will find that the custom column is somewhere else. Like over here, I was looking at the bottom, it's not there. You've got the custom columns, but you've got this blue button over there as well, which is the custom columns. It's the same thing. So you can say CPA. Let's do ROAS. The conversion value, which is, where is it gone? conversion value divided by cost, underperformance. And that is your ROAS. You can then put in a percentage, save it, and you can apply that. And then you will see, you can't see it at the moment. And there you go. That's my ROAS. So you can go and create as many custom columns you may like, and using all this, you got this function one as well as to create a custom column with using these functions as well. But we don't use that a huge amount, but usually we use these ones to create our custom columns for CPA or cost per booked calls and so on. What's the best way to A/B split test? I'll just put in landing pages as well. I know what you mean. Landing page or pages. What software would you recommend? A/B split test is where you have two versions of the same page, and you just have a very minor change on one of them so that it is a bit different. So the A/B split testing you can do with a photo on one page, a video on the other, headline one on one page, another headline on the other. You could have the call to action button, which could be one could be blue, one could be orange, and so on. So there's lots of ways you can split test. I did cover this a couple of weeks ago, but you're asking about the software. There are lots of these softwares available. Our favorite one, which we use, is unbounce.com. We've been using this for a long time. The most important thing for these software is the page speed, the page load speed. You got to make sure that it is lightning fast. So this is the paid one. The free one is Google Optimize. Like most Google products, this is also free of charge, but you just need to do a little bit of manual setup, whereas in here it is pretty much kind of like plug and play with all these paid softwares. ClickFunnels is another very popular one. This is also paid. Lead Pages, Go High Level. I'm not sure whether it does A/B split test or not, but I know we use Go High Level for our CRM. But I don't think we use the landing pages with them, with Go High Level. We continue to use Unbounce for that. I need to check whether it does split testing or not. There's quite a few more. I can't think from the top of my head, but these are the ones which I would go with if you are serious about split testing. You can start off with for free with Google Optimize, and then if you want to go with the paid version, they all start from around $100 per month. Is there a use case for not using a third-party tracking tool? There are obviously functions that you can't get without it, like listening and rating calls. So there is a trade-off. When does it start to be worthwhile in your opinion? You mentioned the figure of 20 calls the other day when we were scoping this out on our call. Okay, Russell, this question, I know what you are referring to. When you say third-party tracking tool, you are not referring to a conversion tracking, but you are referring to a third-party call recording or call tracking tool. Yes, there are cases where you want the calls to be recorded. For example, if if you're getting calls and not conversions, then you want to listen in to the calls as to how your sales team are answering the calls or not answering the calls. It could be the case, because quite often we find that the receptionist or the person who is responsible for picking up the calls don't answer the calls, and obviously you um, lost that potential conversion or that client. So what you want to do is, first of all, work out how many calls a day or week you are getting. If you're getting a fair few, and if it's yourself who is answering these calls, then you know the quality of the calls. You know whether these are high quality calls or junk and they're time wasters. And then you can make certain decisions with regards to optimizing the campaign. The beauty with third party call tracking apps like CallRail or call tracking metrics is it will allow you to link that call to a certain keyword, campaign, ad group, and so on. So you can see whether this keyword is driving good quality or bad quality calls or not. So that is what I would look at. Um, you you can try these apps on a free trial and see whether it's worth your while or not. I won't be able to tell you whether it is worthwhile or not, because everybody is different. I don't know how many calls you are getting, but when I said that if it's 20 calls is where it's what the benchmark is, but don't take this as a gospel, because it was just a number which I quoted before. It could be that one of these calls may be very important for you and you get a really big client. So try those their free trial, see which one you like or don't like, and use it for a few months and see if it works or not. But it's definitely something which is recommended if your business relies on phone calls only. So people like dentists, plumbers, locksmith, chiropractors, they rely on phone calls. Very few people are going to fill in a form and wait for somebody to call them back. They want to speak to somebody right now because they've got a big problem and they want that solution to that problem. So that's what I would recommend. I will list of keywords in an ad group. All right. So these are all exact match. Fine. All of these have been search terms generated from the keyword physiognomy. Okay, makes sense. Am I better to list them individually or leave it as it is, physio or just physiognomy? Is there a risk of competing against myself? No, you're not. You're not competing against yourself. And nowadays, what you want to do is to have the theme of these keywords, the ad groups, tightly themed. So you want the intent to be same or similar. So I can see good physio near me, physical therapy near me, physiotherapist near me, physios near me. Okay. So these are all near me type of keywords, which is fine. And they are fine. The algorithm is going to help the algorithm quite a lot. We used to run on SKAGs, SKAGS, which was single keyword ad groups, when exact match was exact match. But exact match hasn't been exact match for the last few years. So it doesn't make sense and they don't work very well. I would keep these the way you have got. If you want to expand this, you can copy this ad group, make all the keywords as phrase match, or add phrase match in the same ad group. Depends on your workflow, how you set up your campaigns. And to do that in something like Google Ads Editor is going to take you literally seconds. It's just a case of copying and pasting these and changing the mesh type. So yeah, the way you've set it up is fine. I would have no problems with this setup. And as new search terms keep coming in, then you either add them to that ad group which triggered that search term, or add them as a negative to that ad group which triggered if you don't want your ads to show for that search term.